Wowee, would you look at that? Your eyes are not deceiving you. It's me. I'm back for another edition of Rugby Player Reacts to the top 100 NFL players in a particular year. This year being 2023. A few of you guys have let me know in no uncertain terms that this series has dropped. It has indeed dropped. I'm pretty sure from numbers 100 down to 50 are out at the moment. And I'm going to do my very best to get through them. It's a mammoth task. It's a task that I enjoy. It's a task that I look forward to. And I know there's at least a few of you guys who look forward to it too. So this introduction has been shot 6 or 7 times. I still haven't been able to get to the actual reaction video without second guessing myself. It happens every single year. There's only one way to do it, and that's to get into it. The first video on the list, number 100, is DeVonta Smith, the wide receiver for the Eagles. I actually had him in my NFL fantasy team last year as a reserve for the most part. Brought him into the starting lineup near the end of the year, and he did well. He did really well. And in fact, he did well enough to be voted by his peers to the top 100 list. First year in the league, Heisman winner as a wide receiver. I think it's his first year. It might be his second, actually. All of that and more will be revealed. I want to stick to some sort of format. It's the only way that I can be confident that I don't talk too much shit at the beginning of the videos. The format will be using Pro Football Reference to have a look at their stats. And I'm also going to, prior to the start of the video, look at their stats and think, right, where on the rugby field would this player or could this player transition and play? It's something that I haven't really included, the whole rugby aspect recently. And being that, you know, I have watched a fair bit of rugby at the moment over the last year, and being that the Rugby Union World Cup is on later this year in France, which I will be watching and I will be covering somewhat on this channel, I thought it was about time that I go back to my roots and I really try and mesh these two sports through these videos, which is exactly what I intended on doing originally, those 5 short years ago. All right, guys, so the first thing we're going to do is go to Pro Football Reference and have a look at his stats. Boom! There he is. Let me just check that you guys can see that. Okay, that's good enough. All right, so it was it wasn't his first year. I didn't think so. I mean, these years just go, honestly, these years just are flying by. I don't know about you guys, but through the pandemic, out the back end of the pandemic, these last 2 or 3 years have absolutely flown by, and that's evidence of it. Either way, last year, played 17 games. What is AV? Approximate value. Okay. Approximate value of 13. I don't know what that means. 95 receptions for 1,196 yards, 12.6 yards per reception, 7 receiving touchdowns, and a total fantasy points of 159.6. And I'm pretty sure there was a couple of weeks where he got, mid-20s, even 30 points. So that goes back to what I said, earlier in the year, he wasn't really performing, didn't really get the reps, but by the end of the year, staked his claim as a legitimate wide receiver 1. I just made that up. It might be true, might not be. Either way, 6 foot, 170 pounds, one of the lightest players in the league, Philadelphia Eagles, born on November 14th, 1998. Currently 24 years of age. He went to Alabama in college, got drafted in the first round, 10th overall of the 2021 NFL draft. And thinking back to his college, or his final college year where he, oh man, who have we got here? My little sidekick. You want to come and say something?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so Tate is having a day off school today because why?
Because I'm sick.
Yeah, she's a bit sick. Hopefully she doesn't give it to me. Inevitably she will. But yeah, this is what Daddy does sometimes.
Yeah.
To make YouTube videos. You love YouTube videos, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. And she loves my silver play button too. I mean, sometimes I forget the amount of work, the amount of videos I had to produce in a 2-year period to even have a chance of getting 100,000 subscribers. But we did it. We're at 157,000, on the way to 158, hopefully. It has been stagnant, but all is not lost. What do you want to say to YouTube? All right, well, what do you want to do? Do you want to sit in here, or you can stay in here if you like, but I am going to be focusing on this. Absolutely, I can get your iPad. And look, I even charged it for you.
So 100.
100%?
Yeah.
Oh, winning. All right, so what I was saying is thinking back to his final year at college where he did win the Heisman. I feel like the only reason that happened is because Jalen Waddle, who was included in the list last year, and most likely is going to be included this year. He's an absolute dynamite player, but he got injured halfway through the year. He was in line to win the Heisman as a wide receiver. It went to DeVonta Smith. Either way, that is enough from me. At number 100, DeVonta Smith.
Your jersey.
Okay, sure. Hold on. Thanks, DeVonta. You're awesome, man. Appreciate it.
No, you have to get touched, okay?
I view myself
I gotta turn this up.
as one of the top route runners in the league. Know I have a long way to go.
Yeah, he's one of the top route runners. You're gonna have to turn that down, darling. You're gonna have to turn that down. I can't hear. She's throwing me off my game. Yeah, one of the top route runners in the league, no doubt, no doubt. And a long way to go? Yeah, a long and fruitful career. 2 years in the league, 2 short years.
When we played the Giants, and he caught that crazy touchdown over their safety and our cornerback. That was an amazing play.
He's floating it for DeVonta Smith, who makes the catch, and he walks into the end zone.
In traffic.
Look like he's still at Bama trying to win the Heisman.
What a great play on that reception by DeVonta Smith. Hey!
Way to finish.
What I'm talking about, baby.
The way he catches is very smooth, so it kind of keeps you on your toes as a DB.
That's unbelievable. Look at those feet.
First one that I seen in the game, I was like, man, damn. What kind of kids is that? We played Washington. I think he caught it close to the sideline. It was just like over the shoulder.
Oh, what? You've got to be kidding me. 60 yards. Not only that, he's got a guy about 3 inches taller and about 50 pounds heavier on his back. And he takes the Tony Toe Tap catch.
As far as catching the ball, it seemed like he just catch everything.
What a leaping catch by Smith.
It's Skinny Batman. It's Skinny Batman.
I mean, those are the catches, right? Originally talked about routes. It's the route that gets you open to take the catch, but you still got to take the catch.
And you know,
they call him the Slim Reaper.
Whether he's known as the Slim Reaper or Skinny Batman, the nicknames fit. But DeVonta Smith and his diminutive stature haven't missed a game yet in 2 seasons.
6 feet, 170
It's incredible that he can actually take the hits that he does.
pounds. Skinny Batman taking the hits, but keeps on ticking here.
You ask his teammates who's a tough guy and receiver, they immediately point to DeVonta Smith. He may not look it with his arms. He's not all yoked up with all the big muscles, but this guy plays tough.
Doesn't talk a lot, but a lot of heart in that small body of his.
Smith's 95 catches were the most in an Eagles season by a receiver.
Oh, wow.
One of those guys that's unpredictable. The way he runs his routes and how sneaky he is. Sometimes he might just jog and it kind of comes off like he's like running, but he's so effortless. Like his stride is effortless.
Hey, Jay! I killed his ass!
The king of smooth, man. He's just, at all times, he is under control. It is like watching a dancer play football.
That's DeVonta Smith. He is such a good route runner.
I always got to be there on my...
I mean, that previous play, that throw could have been...
Oh, it is like watching a dancer play football.
Yeah, I mean, he created the space. It was thrown to space and he caught it. But he had to go backwards for it. That's never ideal, but in this case, necessary.
That's DeVonta Smith. He is such a good route runner.
I always got to be there on my A
Yeah, talk about effortless.
game when I go against him because very unpredictable player, but great player.
The one I remember the most was, we played them last in the playoff game. He caught that bomb over the middle.
What a connection on the first pass of the game.
He scored a touchdown as well that game.
Across the 5, into the end zone, touchdown!
Smith saved his best for the postseason, leading the team in receiving yards in each of the Eagles' 3 playoff games on the way to a Super Bowl appearance.
The Philadelphia Eagles have won the NFC Championship.
Stat-wise, there's a lot of guys out there that had better stats, but I feel like myself, just being covered one-on-one route running, I feel like I'm up there with some of the best.
Well, I don't know how many guys you've seen with better stats than 1,196 yards at an average of 12.6 yards per reception. But I'm assuming there wouldn't be many. Either way, that brings us to the end of the first video of 100 in Rugby Player Reacts to the NFL's top 100 players of 2023. I am just getting my juices flowing, you could say. There was a fair few catches that I would have loved to stop and break down and see exactly where his body was in the air, what sort of angle he was at when he took the ball, how close the defender was to picking the ball off, how close his feet were to the sideline when he caught the ball. I didn't. I regret it. If I see a play that I want to break down, that I want to freeze frame and go through slow motion or something like that, I'm going to do it. I'm going to hold myself to that. But that is Rugby Player Reacts to DeVonta Smith, number 100 on the NFL's top 100 players of 2023. It's been an absolute pleasure thus far. Actually, before I forget, there is one element that I've missed, and that is putting DeVonta Smith at 6 foot, 170 pounds into a rugby team. And there's only there's 2 positions that he could possibly play. There's certainly nowhere in the forwards. He'd just get absolutely crushed. But there is a position for him in the outside backs, and that is basically his position on the American football field, a wide receiver, aka a winger in rugby. You're out on the sidelines, you're waiting for the ball, you're the finisher, you take the glory, the forwards, aka the linemen, do all the hard work up front, and you finish the play, score the touchdowns, and do your thing. And that's what you do on the wing. The winger stays out wide, waits for the ball. Once he gets it, he's going to be one of the most explosive, one of the most exciting players on the rugby field. And DeVonta Smith, wingers are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You only got to go back to the late, great Jonah Lomu, who played wing, 265 pounds, 6'5", and ran a 10.5 second 100-meter dash. Now, if DeVonta Smith was playing opposite Jonah Lomu, for example, he'd still get crushed. But no, I put him on at the wing, and I would try and get him in space as much as possible, which is exactly what they do in American football. So there you go. That was my reaction to DeVonta Smith. I hope you enjoyed. And in the next one, we're looking at DeMarcus Lawrence. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you soon.